Greetings, true believers, and welcome back to season 3 of Mutant Rejects. I guess formerly the Gifted Podcast. I am your host and leader of the Rejects Hub, Dom, and I am joined by who you all probably know and hopefully love by now, my Reject family. To my left, my lovely, beautiful, curvaceous, darling, and hopefully talkative wife, Kathy.
Hello, everybody.
And of course, it wouldn't be an episode of Rejects and it wouldn't be a Reject family without my fabulous brother and former stylist of the Inner Circle, Phoenix.
Hey, guys.
So, we are back tonight because, well, obviously with COVID-19, we don't have a whole lot to do, so that definitely factors in. But mostly because as I'm, checking my phone or I'm on the computer, I see people following our pages, following us at Mutant Rejects on Twitter, and we have done nothing in, I guess next month would be close to a year. And people are still following, people are still asking questions, people are still wanting to be a part of this. So we thought, why not relaunch the show and give you whatever we can? I mean, if we have gifted news like we did last month, we're going to share it with you, but we're basically going to anything Marvel, MCU, mutant related that we can possibly find and just try to do our thing and entertain you guys the way we always did. And as I said on my video, the gifted may be gone, but thankfully, the good news is the rejects live on. So, yay!
Does that mean we're kind of like the Goonies? You can't get rid of us?
A little bit. A little bit. You're not wrong. So we'll bust into our first topic, which is actually the rumor mill that got me and a lot of fans kind of excited. I actually heard it from a fan that messaged me on our Facebook page, Mutant Rejects, the Gifted Podcast, and I can't remember their name, but they said to me, "Hey, are you excited?" And I said, "What? Excited for what exactly?" And they said, "Look," it sent me an article saying that the Gifted would return to Hulu in March of 2020. Now, obviously, we're in April of 2020, and that didn't happen. And
Go figure.
yeah, I mean, as excited as we were at the time, it was really disappointing overall. I mean, we all thought after the season finale that this show had a million places it could have gone, had a ton of directions it could have taken. We gave you some of those directions in previous episodes. And so to hear it come back was like, yes! And then to find out it was gone was just
heartbreaking.
Annoying.
That too. A little bit of both. Why not both? We're going with both. So, I'm sorry to say we've heard some rumors here and there of shows like The Gifted or Legion or The Runaways coming back, whether it be like FX has moved a bunch of their shows to Hulu. So there were some rumors about Legion. There were some rumors about The Gifted there. They didn't pan out yet, but maybe there's still hope. And if we hear anything, obviously we're going to turn around and cover it for you guys.
Well, as far as Legion goes, I'm perfectly fine if they don't bring it back.
Yeah.
As far as Marvel shows go, it's probably the worst thing ever created.
It kind of ran its course.
And I'm a former fashion coordinator. The 70s were supposed to be fabulous. They make it look not so fabulous.
Yeah, they really did. I mean, it kind of ran its course. So if it doesn't come back, I'm not going to be too broken up about it. But The Gifted really hurt. And going from there, I guess we're going to turn to our fabulous brother, because obviously he was the stylist for the Inner Circle, and even before The Gifted was canceled, the Inner Circle was kind of canceled. So people have been asking, like, what's your brother doing nowadays? Has he found work? Has he done whatever? So we're going to let him update you on exactly what he's been doing.
Well, as we all know, the end of season 2 of The Gifted, I've needed to make a hasty exit, and I went across the pond to happy old England. Well, I'm still in happy old England. I got a job at Essex Corp, where I'm now an interior designer. So my talents are still being used, just a little different.
So now he's picking out drapes for the bad guys. Okay.
They're not bad, they're just old-fashioned.
Old-fashioned, right.
Sure.
I mean, obviously, I'm still here. I've been the leader of the Rejects Hub. We have gone nowhere. In fact, we've grown. Because I think the last time I brought anything up was during that poll that I put up of which group would you rather join? And there were 4 options. There was the Inner Circle, the Mutant Underground, the Morlocks, and us. And when we didn't come in dead last, one of the reasons I gave is because of numbers. We were like 400 strong. Well, that was over a year ago, and now we're like 600 or 700 strong. So, thank you, ladies and gentlemen in social media. That's one of the reasons we're back now. And
I hate it being cold and rainy here.
Yeah, it's hell on the allergies and sinuses. But and of course, Kathy has been still being my wife, which is awesome. And
sometimes in itself it's a full-time job.
And doing some dog grooming because Zingo doesn't stay cute on his own.
Exactly.
And we're very proud of her for that. So now that we've updated you on us, let's break into some of these topics because we have a few things from television and movies, and we've got a pretty good show laid out. Let's get into it, shall we? I can't wait. Our first topic is kind of a, I don't know, bittersweet one as we learned that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. returns on May 27th for what will be its 7th and final season. Now, I don't exactly know how to feel about this, but I'm going to let my wife go first. How do you feel about the final season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Honestly, I think they could have gotten rid of it like the 5th season. I didn't really watch the 6th season. I actually don't remember the 6th season. I think it's been coming to where they just need to end it. I'm probably not going to watch the last season. Maybe I'll get to it later, but I'm not really excited about it. It kind of just needs to end. It's been on for too long, so that's where I'm at with it.
Okay, mostly doom and gloom. I hear you. I'm gonna let my fabulous brother chime in on this now. How do you feel about the final season?
Well, considering you just told me about it earlier this evening, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. started out strong. It was a good way to segue between the Avengers movie and give you sneak peeks of what was coming in possibly in the Avengers movie.
Right.
And it served its purpose in that. But it got very bogged down with, very Daisy / Sky / whatever else she wants to be called. I got a little bit annoyed with that, and then they keep messing with Coulson. I mean, it was sad enough him dying in Avengers 1, and then they brought him back.
And then he has to die again.
And then they kill him again.
And then they bring him back.
And they chop off his hand, and it gets really confusing. And he pulls a Captain America thing where he has the whole shield. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And then all of a sudden, the other guy was in charge, and then Coulson was back and running another secret agency within a secret agency, and then Coulson was out again, and another guy was in charge, and it just got really confusing. I stopped watching about a quarter of the way, whichever season number the Ghost Rider season was. I stopped about the first quarter.
4, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I believe it was 4, because then 5 is where they finally do kind of kill Agent Coulson. But then in last season, he did come back, but he wasn't quite himself. But he wasn't. It was very chaotic. It was very confusing.
Yeah.
Some of it was cool. Like visually, it was beautiful, but the story was very weird. It was all very confusing. I'm torn on this because For starters, I did, and I kind of still do love Agents of Shield. Like, it wasn't just for Coulson. I love May.
I love May.
May
Yes.
was ridiculous.
And I loved her just randomly like, I can do this.
I really fell for like Mac and Yo-Yo. Like, they were cool.
No. They were cute.
I definitely got into Daisy once she got on her own and became Quake, and she even took charge a little bit. And they started going to space in season 6, and that was kind of cool. But honestly, as much as the show, see, I think the show bogged itself down early on with all the Grant Ward crap.
Yeah.
Like, he died, but he's back, but he's gone again, but now he's the Hive, but now he's dead again. You know, it was just, they seem to bog themselves down there, and then they bounce back with like Ada, and then the whole framework thing, and
That
like
was too
Agents
much.
of Hydra. No, that part, that was amazing when they were all trapped in a world where Hydra had beaten Shield,
And Fitz was even
and
sexier.
Fitz was the evil head of it all with Ada,
Yeah.
who was in love with him, and Simmons was trying to get him back. Like, that part was cool, and then I really think they should have ended it all in season 5 with Coulson. As he was dying, he walked off the ship, the Zephyr, with May on a beach in Tahiti. And they actually like sat out, had fruity drinks, and you heard him say, "This really is a magical place." As the show ended, that should have been the end of the series for me. They came back with a whole other one, and it was confusing and gut wrenching at times. And now they're coming back to finish things out. And I hope they finish well. But part of me says, yeah, I'm going to tune in and watch. And part of me says, I'm done.
Well, I would like to see some other Marvel come into live action TV shows. Like, we've had stuff on Netflix.
Yeah.
And they'll probably be available later on Hulu and so on and so forth.
At least you hope.
I hope. If not, Netflix can keep them. I mean, we can still watch them on Netflix.
True.
But eventually, licensing and all that, I don't want to get into it.
Right.
But there's so much in the Marvel universe, whether it be cinematic or graphic. There's so many other things they can draw from. We don't need 7 seasons of dragged out Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Give us 5 seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Then go on to tell, maybe show Peter Parker's time in college. That's something they haven't shown in the movies.
Yeah, true.
Something with the Fantastic Four that doesn't involve the origin story that we've had to watch like 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same origin story told different ways by different directors and with different visuals.
Yeah.
There's West Coast Avengers.
I gotta say, I think there's a lot of content.
Any of the X-Men shows.
Yeah, there's a lot of content that they could draw from. I think they're a little bit hesitant to do it after Inhumans had failed so badly.
Well, they shouldn't have messed it up so bad.
The only network success that they've had outside of 2 seasons of The Gifted and Legion was this show, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And everything else that they've tried, whether it be Inhumans or they were even supposed to break off Daisy's group of Inhumans and give them a spinoff, and then they canceled that to do the comic version, and it bombed. Yeah. So I think it makes them a little leery to do anything else when they've only had really one show get beyond season 2.
Well, they keep doing it in the comics. It'd be nice if they'd give it a shot on like a TV show. But they brought X-Force back, the original cast, last year in comics.
Yeah, and now remember, up to this point, the Disney deal was not in place. So ABC's entire history of Marvel shows goes Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Inhumans. One bombed, and the other one had some success. But the one bombed so badly, and the other one only achieved so much success that it makes them think, maybe we need to get out of this. Maybe Marvel's not the place we should go. We should save it for Netflix or Hulu or whatever.
Yeah.
And we will get into some more of those shows as far as Marvel goes. But I think the next topic we should jump into, considering we're on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., is the report I read the other day that said there were actually multiple reports that said either Maria Hill will be replaced or joined by Agent Daisy Johnson in Avengers 5.
I could see that happening.
And I'm wondering, I was going to say, I'm wondering how you guys feel about that. Would you like to see Maria Hill just replaced completely, or would you like to see maybe Daisy join her and then get into the field a little more? Or how that would go when it comes to Avengers 5? Like, what's your perfect scenario for that?
I guess my perfect scenario is just to kind of get rid of Maria Hill.
Oh,
I mean,
heartbreak.
yeah, and just kind of write
Move
her
on.
out. Yeah, just move on from her because she's been in like every single movie.
Do like
we
a
know.
next generation.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you've had your time.
Yeah.
Okay, pass the torch. I can live with that.
Right.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind
exactly.
if they teamed up, but I feel like it would just kind of congest things because what has Maria Hill really done in these MCU movies? Like, not just Avengers.
Okay.
The bazooka in Spider-Man Far From Home, and she went puff.
She has no powers,
Right.
yet she always manages to come in, look cool, which props to you, girl. And she's kind of a bitch, and I like that.
And as far as the actress that plays her, what's her name? Colby Smothers? Is that it?
Smithers or Smothers?
So I
Smothers.
love that actress. I loved her in How I Met Your Mother. I do like the way she pulls off Maria Hill. I could see them working in conjunction, but I'm kind of with Kathy where Maria just kind of passes the torch and lets Daisy move forward because she's already been in charge of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. a few times here and there. She's grown up a lot. She's obviously got powers, which would help the agents considerably.
Right.
Because they all seem to get their asses whipped as soon as somebody shows up with any kind of suit or powers. Like if it was her standing there when Loki got out, things might be different.
Yeah.
Just get back in.
Yeah.
But so I do like Chloe Bennett. I think she's been a fantastic part of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. throughout. Like her character kind of struggled a little longer than you would have hoped. But once she caught her traction and she started learning from May and everything else, she turned into a real badass. So I wouldn't mind seeing her replace Hill at all. I'm kind of excited for it. Obviously, we don't know where it's going to go because it's not like they're really working on Avengers 5 right now, unfortunately.
Well, yeah.
What's the lineup going to be in Avengers 5?
I don't even know at this point. We haven't gotten
Falcon, who I guess is the new Captain America.
That's what I mean. It's all guesswork. Like we're gonna have maybe everybody but Tony and Cap.
No.
Well, I mean, Cap's really old, and Tony is.
Shush! Too soon.
Way too soon.
Too soon.
Hey, Potato Good Kid showed up.
Shut your ass. Too soon.
It's been a year, dude.
Still too soon. Will always be too soon, to be honest. But yeah, I think that will be cool. So let's get off of Altereds altogether and MCU stuff, and let's actually go into a little bit of mutant news, shall we?
All right.
Sure.
I mean, we are the rejects. If we got mutant news, we need to share it with people. If you haven't heard yet, Disney Plus has announced that they will be doing a sequel to the original X-Men animated series.
From the 90s, not the one in the late 80s.
Right, from the 90s. The famous Fox show that I grew up on and most people loved. And they haven't really shown anything from it. They haven't given you any like teasers or anything from it. But just knowing that Disney Plus is planning to do this, are you excited for it, or are you afraid that it might become excrement?
I'll let Kathy go first.
Oh, okay. I'm kind of back and forth with this. I would hope that the animation stays as true to form as the 90s. Obviously, they're not going to hand draw everything like they used to, and use more digital animation. But I can kind of look past that as long as they keep to the same storylines and don't change up the look of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like, I'm actually pretty excited about it. Just don't fuck it up. I'm gonna be very mad.
Yeah, see, I'm kind of excited, but I'm going to take you back and hope that this doesn't happen again, because there was another quite popular animated cartoon show on comics in the 90s. And I mean, there were a lot, but the one that rings a bell for me at this point is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
God.
It came out in the 90s. It was very, they tried to keep it like the X-Men series. They tried to keep the characters as close to comic book as possible. They animated it a certain way. And it was it was an awesome show. I watched every season.
Yep.
I loved it.
Me too.
Then I got older. I had a son. And my son started watching the original show, and he loved it. And we found out that Nickelodeon was bringing it back, kind of like Disney Plus is bringing back the X-Men series. So I said, okay, we're going to watch this. And we tuned in for the premiere, and it was just that new computer-generated, odd animation, and the characters and everything, just nothing quite felt the same, nothing quite sounded the same, none of the stories were the same, and it just really drove me nuts. I mean, he enjoyed it, which is fine, so I had to watch it, which is fine, but it doesn't mean I had to enjoy it, and I certainly didn't, and I don't want that to happen with the X-Men. The X-Men in general, mutants in general, have had things hard enough as it is since this Disney deal. We do not need some crappy X-Men show to replace what we grew up on and loved.
We've already
had that. What we need is something that brings that nostalgic feel back, and maybe doesn't have like pastel horsemen of the apocalypse in it. Yeah. Granted, that was lame, but we don't need this newfangled computer-generated modern technology crap. Give us a nice mix. Give us the nostalgic feel with modern technology, and it will probably be great. Do anything else like they did with the Ninja Turtles, and I might come on this show and have a goddamn stroke. I'm not gonna lie.
Thundercats.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
That too. So awful. So awful. Why are they all fat?
Oh, I'm not even worried about that. I'm trying to figure out how Tigra is now Lion-O's brother. A lion and a lion make a lion. Right. Not a lion and a lion make a tiger.
And not only that, but if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Tigra a woman to begin with?
No, that was Chitara.
Oh, that was Chitara. I'm sorry. My bad. But still, you can't put two lions together and make a tiger.
The only thing the remake of Thundercats did right was Panther was still badass.
Next thing you know, they'll put two lions together and make a bear. Oh, my! You know, so
I know a geneticist might do that.
No.
He lives in Wondagore.
No. So, if they keep to the roots and they just modernize it a little bit, I think it'll be a great show. I hope it'll be a great show. I am cautiously excited. Phoenix, have we gotten your take on this yet?
No.
Sorry.
I only have one thing to add. The reason I stopped reading comic books was in the year 2000. After the first X-Men movie came out, they started retconning all of the stuff I had grown up with and read and watched. And then all of a sudden, all the X-Men are starting to wear black leather. And they changed everything up. And to me, that didn't work. So I stopped reading comic books because they changed so much.
Right.
So I am with you. The show could be great if they follow the same format.
Right.
And kind of keep it simple like they did.
Yeah, stick to the basics. You know, people try a little bit too much to like reinvent the wheel. It's still a fucking wheel.
Yeah. So I
don't know how else to put that.
I agree with you that it will be great if they do certain things. And as Kathy said, don't fuck it up.
Yeah, please don't.
If you're gonna fuck it up,
please
don't do it. Just let me keep my memories intact. Michael Bay has already destroyed enough of them.
All right. So speaking of excited or excrement, we're gonna save movie reviews for last. Speaking of excited or excrement, we had a whole topic on this where I was going to go down a list of things, and we can just say whether we're excited or whether we think it's going to just be duty.
Excrement is much more politically correct.
Okay, but it's still duty.
And it's got an X in it.
And I just said duty, but it's got an X in it. So we're going to use that. The first thing is something that we've talked about, God, I don't know, ad nauseum when this show was on. And that was New Mutants, because it was supposed to be released sometime this month. I think it should have been released already. And unfortunately, with COVID-19, which apparently even mutants aren't immune to, thanks, it's been postponed yet again. I mean, I think it was supposed to debut first in like April of 2018,
I thought it
and
was supposed to come out in 2017.
it might have been 17.
But they
It was
delayed it
2
and
or
delayed
3
it and
years
delayed
ago,
it.
and it's just been
Mhm.
delayed, and then they were finally going to release it in theaters. And then this virus came along, so
Just
that's
put it on Hulu.
so that's pushed it back. But as far as New Mutants go, are you still excited for this project, or do you think by the time it comes out, it's just going to be excrement?
For me, excrement, because the New Mutants became X-Force, my favorite, and they're just going to screw it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna say excrement because it's been delayed too much. And I don't even remember the trailer because it's been so long.
It's supposed to be a horror movie, kind of.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I don't. They just lost me. I'm not interested anymore. It's been too long.
I gotta say, I don't know why, but I've been excited since I saw the first trailer 2 or 3 years ago. I'm still excited. I'm holding on to hope because of another project that we're going to talk about that was delayed, and when it came out, it was actually good. So I'm hoping this will be the same way. I'm excited. I'm trying not to be cautiously excited. I want to be positive because when I first saw it and when I first heard the concept of we're going to take mutants and make a horror movie with them, I was like, yes, this is awesome. Like, never been done. I want to see it. So I still do. I'm still excited. Put it out somewhere. Put it on digital. Put it on Hulu. Do something with it so that I could finally see it and give you guys a review on it. Because I have been waiting to do that. I don't know if some of you have been waiting for us to do that. Please put it out there, Disney. Please. All right, now the next one I think was supposed to be coming out next month, if I remember correctly, and it doesn't look like it will. I mean, there's still a little bit of hope, but probably not. And that would be the Black Widow movie, which obviously they're going back to, I guess, a little bit of her origin story or her history because they don't have anything to move forward with, obviously.
Aw.
Nope.
So this time we'll start with Phoenix. Do you think the when it comes to the Black Widow movie, are you excited, or do you think it's just going to be excrement?
Excrement. If you want me to elaborate, I'll elaborate. But
You can if you'd like. You don't have to.
Just simple. We don't need another Russian spy movie. We know that she was a Russian spy. And I thought her role in S.H.I.E.L.D. was great.
Okay.
And I liked her in the Avengers.
Okay. If Scarlett Johansson is going to be rocking that bodysuit again, I'm excited. End of story. Kathy, excited or excrement?
Perv.
She's hot. I can't help it.
Well,
Ow! Damn it, Kathy. Okay, are you excited or not?
I say excrement because stop that.
Nope. You say it, I do it.
Because I think they're trying too hard on the preview that I saw. It's like they're really trying to make this movie like it's the best thing ever and it's gonna be legendary. Yeah,
Well, of course. They're gonna tell you that in every preview. I mean,
know, but
and
I think they're just trying too hard.
I'll be honest, when it comes to MCU movies, most of the time they're not wrong, minus maybe Thor: Dark World. But that's another podcast. That's another.
God.
We just don't need elves in Marvel.
No,
Nah.
especially evil elves. I mean, give me a break.
Just go watch Lord of the Rings.
Get back in your tree and make me some cookies. I'm not scared of you.
Oh, you went there.
Yeah, I went there. The Rejects Hub will whoop your ass. We ain't scared.
I want my cookies rainbowed.
Of course he does. All right, so now that we've gotten through that, we're going to run through a couple of the upcoming series on Disney Plus.
Oh, okay.
And we were going to start with, let's say, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier, yay. Excited?
Excited.
Falcon?
Oh, come on, I'm excited. I
Not
love
really.
Falcon. Plus, I don't know what they're going to do with him. Like, will that be the debut of his Cap stuff? Or is he still going to be Falcon? Like, I don't know if this is a prequel or if this is moving forward from where we left off. But I'm excited for it because there's some cool characters. And obviously Bucky, and he's like the closest thing to Captain America we got left. So we need to keep him
All right, too soon for Tony. You're just fine with Cap.
Yeah, he got to go back and bang Peggy. So
I was just saying, you better get her name right.
Peggy, my bad. Blah.
That's okay. You almost banged her granddaughter.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not even gonna say almost. I'm gonna go with he did. But anyway, so lovely. Last but not least, of course, my lovely wife. Are you excited for this series, or do you think it's gonna be excrement?
Is Winter Soldier and Falcon the same show? Is it?
Yeah.
They're combining. Okay. See, I'm excited about Falcon, but I'm not. It's excrement for Winter Soldier.
So he's excited about Winter Soldier, but not Falcon.
Yep.
She's excited about Falcon, but not Winter Soldier.
Yep.
And then I'm excited about both. So I'm kind of the two of them put together. I don't know what to say there, so I'm just gonna move on.
Actually, I can do the math for you. You're excited. She's half excited. I'm half excited. So that is 2 excited. She is half.
Okay, so we
excrement. I am half excrement.
all told, we are like 66.6% excited.
Best.
There we go.
The polls have said it. It's a scientific fact. Next. All right. So how about this is obviously some kind of odd prequel. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense reading about the plot, but WandaVision. We'll start with Kathy. Are you excited for this show, or do you think it's going to be excrement?
Meh. Not excited at all. The plot is so weird.
Yeah, it's like,
and I don't get it.
I don't understand it. Like, is it happening in Wanda's head, or is this some kind of like weird world that she's created for herself?
Wouldn't be the first time.
Or what? The only thing that gets me excited about this show is I've read multiple reports that this could be the first sighting of mutants in a Marvel MCU type series. And if that's the case, then I'm going to watch because I will be excited for that. As far as the plot goes, I'm a little confused, but if there's mutants, your boy's excited. Phoenix, excited or excrement?
As long as she doesn't get an imaginary baby from a robot or recreate reality around her father, I'll be okay with it. But again, I gotta say, Marvel, Disney, out of all the stuff you could choose from, you picked this.
Right? You know what would be cool though? You know what would get me mad though is after all those seasons of The Gifted where they alluded to Lorna's father, if they put this show on and Magneto walks in to talk to Wanda, I'm gonna be mad as hell.
However, I will say, since I have been a excrement on the last 2 shows you've talked about, I will give you an excited on this. Again, don't fuck it up.
Yeah, if they show mutants, I'm gonna be excited. Otherwise, but yeah, if they bring Magneto on this after all the alluding to it,
I'll
like,
just ignore Wanda and pay
for
attention to.
For 2 seasons of the Gifted podcast, it felt like we were like breaking the law because we said the name Magneto.
Not Magneto's daughter.
Magneto's daughter, shut up. And if they bring Lorna into this show,
Hey, that would be awesome.
oh, I'm gonna be very excited. If we see Emma Dumont as Lorna come back, oh my God, yes, I will be through the roof excited. So there is some potential to this otherwise kind of confusing show.
I will say the tiara was not in the rubble of the building.
No, she still had her headpiece.
The tiara.
Headpiece.
I was there when they designed it.
Emma Dumont calls it a headpiece. I'm gonna call it a headpiece. Now, I don't know if they're still doing it, actually. Are they still planning on doing a Loki series?
You're the one who gets all these reports.
Because we had the rundown, and Loki was on it. But I haven't heard anything on it since. But if they were, let's say they are to do a Loki series, would you be excited for that? Or do you just think that's going to be a big pile of excrement?
Excited.
I'd be excited.
The actor's great.
Yeah.
Tom Hiddleston. Yeah.
I think the character's great. You could do a lot of fun things with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I think even if they screwed it up, it would still be funny.
I'm just excited because it's Loki.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All the stuff that he pulls, the sarcastic, smart-ass comments, the little jabs at people, the tricks. If they put all that in and come up with a decent plot, I don't think you can go wrong. So I'm excited because of Loki.
please give Hulk a cameo in it, because they Avengers 1, Thor Ragnarok,
right?
We get Puny God. That's how it feels,
right?
Just one little cameo.
Too bad he didn't make it to Endgame.
No.
Well, technically, he's a god. I mean,
he could. He died like 27 times already in these movies. He could still be up.
But this just it would be a good show.
I think that's all we have for as far as excited or excrement, and we're actually down to our last topic, which is mutant movie reviews. Yeah. Now the first one we have to do, because it's on an actual mutant, and it finally came out last year after all the delays, like I said, with New Mutants, Dark Phoenix. And we were giving out X's between 1 and 5 to say, what we thought of it and everything else. And I'm going to let our fabulous Phoenix start first with his what would you rate Dark Phoenix overall?
7,921 X's.
So you thought it was that good?
It was a whole lot better than the previous movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it that. I gotta be honest. I would probably give it like 3 3/4 X's, because I mean there was some stuff about it that I didn't like, but with all the bashing of it on social media, with all the bad reviews, I was almost paranoid. I was almost talked out of watching it.
As you know, I'm not the hugest fan of Sophie Turner.
Mm-hmm.
I think she pulled
Neither
it off.
am I. Yeah.
I have experience with her in another show. I didn't like her in that. I didn't like the things she did in that.
Oh, you can say Game of Thrones now. We don't have any affiliations.
Okay. Well, I just think the whole thing is Sansa Stark's fault in the first place. So I hated that character. And the fact that she became Queen of the North. Ugh! But anyway, Sophie Turner, I'm sure you're a fabulous person.
I didn't know he was going to do
the roles were written for you, but, I think you pulled off Dark Phoenix very well.
I got to be honest, I didn't know he was going to do all that when I gave him permission to say Game of Thrones. But whatever, we got it now. It's good. I'm not editing it. Whatever, it's in there. Yeah, I'm not the biggest Sophie Turner fan, and I did like the way she kind of broke out and used the Phoenix power in Age of Apocalypse. So I thought maybe if they did a Dark Phoenix movie, it would be good. The reviews then came out, and people started talking about it on social media, and I thought, oh God, no, not again, because we all remember Famke. But when I finally watched it, I really, really enjoyed it. It was well put together. They came the closest to giving you the Phoenix origin story.
Not only that,
of any movie, of anything that you saw.
They kind of gave you the accolades.
They really did.
They even had Skinza.
Right?
The dude with the dreadlocks?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he wore like a baklava and stuff in the comic, but
he was damn near there too. That's what I mean. They made this as authentic as they could, as opposed to say X3, where it was just god awful.
Yeah.
God awful. So considering I've had to sit through both these movies in my lifetime, and I've had to now see them repeatedly, thank God for this last Dark Phoenix, because they actually did that character and that story some justice. So that's why I gave it 3 3/4. There were some things, that was like, okay, this is a little weird. I'm not sure about that. But they were just little stuff. I'd damn near give it 4. There were just a couple little things. I'm not going to bash it. People did that on social media.
I can make you bump to 4 by reminding you of one thing.
What's that?
Hank, one of the coolest guys, was the first one to want to kill her.
Okay, 4. And I did love Hank in that too. That guy plays Hank and Beast quite well.
He just needs to eat a couple cheeseburgers.
Plus, Magneto got his ass kicked, and I can say Magneto without having to worry. Magneto. Okay. Sorry. It just felt good. It's nice to be free. Kathy, what would you rate this movie as far as X's went?
Let's say 4 X's.
Yeah.
I really did enjoy it. Few little things that I didn't like or just thought was kind of weird, but overall, I really enjoyed it.
Now, keep in mind, these are the same ratings almost that Kathy and I gave Captain Marvel. So they were about on the same level when you really watch them both, and you don't know, and you haven't heard, and you haven't gone on social media, you haven't read reviews, you just watch one and then you watch the other. You think, about the same.
Yeah.
You know,
Captain Marvel had good points, and Captain Marvel had bad
and
points.
so did this movie,
And so
but
did this movie.
it wasn't as bad as people made it out to be. So if you've avoided watching Dark Phoenix because you saw all this stuff like I did, please go back and watch it. It's actually a pretty good movie. I'm not saying it's the best, but it's a lot better, in my opinion, than the next movie that we're going to review. But before we do, recap, Kathy and I pretty much give this movie 4 X's, and I believe Phoenix gave it 7,921. On to the next one, which was a movie that I thought had so much potential and then just went Spider-Man Far From Home.
Ugh.
I'll let y'all go first.
Oh, honestly, if I had to rate it 1 to 5, I would probably give it 2. I would give it 2 because it started out well, and there was a lot of funny stuff in it. You know, Tom Holland does a great job. The cast that returned did a wonderful job. But the story itself, between once Mysterio comes in and the whole Tony Stark thing, it's like, how many people does Tony Stark piss off after making rich? How many? We've already had to do Iron Man 3 with the extremist crap, and then we and his crew of flunkies. Now we got Mysterio and his gang of tech dorks. It's like they're all filthy rich, and they can all come up with this great tech, and they're still mad at Tony Stark. If Tony Stark made me rich, I don't care if he took a shit on my son, I'd still love him. And these people want to use his technology to end the world, to get back at him, and he's dead. God, too soon. Also, why I gave it 2 X's, because it was just terrible. And then obviously the feud that Sony and Disney had over this movie and how they were going to cut up the budget, the profits, and everything else led to the god-awful ending where Mysterio puts out a video basically blaming Spider-Man for the whole thing and then outing him in the middle of Times Square as the movie ends. Horrible. Terrible. As good as it started, by the time it was over, I was throwing things at my television and screaming, waste of 2 hours. All right, let's go to Phoenix.
No, Kathy first.
Okay, let's go to Kathy then. Fuck it, I have no control over this show anymore. Let's go to Kathy and tell us, how many X's would you rate this thing on 1 to 5? I'm still your leader.
Let's see. I'd probably rate it 1.5 X's.
Wow.
Because
that's pretty low.
I can't even get past the beginning of the movie because it's so like.
Oh, you didn't get to the butt monkey part or whatever where he's in all black?
No. No, I just always, no matter what time of day, no matter when I'm trying to watch it, I fall asleep. It just, nope.
Oh, I'm sorry. You were talking about Spider-Man Far From Home. I must have did it. My bad. I'll get some coffee. Wow, I can't believe you actually gave it a rating lower than mine. That's astonishing.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed Homecoming. Like that kept your attention. It was very fun.
Oh no! If anything, that was close to a 5X rating because that movie was amazing.
Yes.
It was a great way to kick off the Spider-Man, story but in MCU terms and play off of Civil War. Great cast, and if anything, it was a great movie because it made Michael Keaton a DC hero and an MCU villain.
Yes.
Legendary.
And I'm sorry, I want those wings.
I do too.
Yeah, it's
they
very
would
cool.
look great on me or on my wall. Either
or. Who wouldn't want to be the Vulture? Yeah.
Plus, he had this cool leg lock
and he played it off, and he played it so well. Just so perfectly because he went from being. The two roles could not be any different. He went from being, rich billionaire Bruce Wayne to salt of the earth blue collar guy who gets screwed over again by Tony Stark. So he decides to become a villain to feed his family.
Mm-hmm.
That was an epic movie. If I could give it 5 X's, I would. I don't think I've given anything yet. That's the closest one. But the sequel, I give it 2 because it was the second That's it.
Plus, I hate Jake Gyllenhaal as an
Oh,
actor, so I do
with the
not want
fire
to see him as
of
Mysterio.
1,000 suns, I hate Jake Gyllenhaal. And not only that, we kept hearing there was going to be this cut scene where the Sinister Six came in at the end of Far From Home, and then this whole feud between Disney and Sony broke out. And instead of getting that, we got this whole alternate ending where they were basically just cutting off Spider-Man, and that was just god awful. So now we're going to turn things over to Phoenix, and we're going to let him rate this movie 1 to 5 X's.
I would give it 3.5.
Wow.
I'm surprised.
I liked it. I did not like it as much as Homecoming. But then again, it didn't have Michael Keaton in it.
Well, yeah.
I got to see Tom Holland in less than fully clothed yet again.
I was going to say, there was more Happy in this one, but that's more for your fiance than you.
Yeah.
He loves him some Happy.
Well, and true believers, there was an amazing I'm stupid moment. I did not know that Jon Favreau, who is directing a lot of stuff and, co-creating and things like that, I didn't know that was actually Happy.
Oh, man.
I found that out like a month ago, and I was like, oh, God, I'm stupid. But anyway, back to Far From Home.
That's an epic fail. Go on.
Hey, at least I can admit it.
True.
Yes.
It was okay. I thought they could have done better with Mysterio. I have my own issues with Jake Gyllenhaal. Some movies I've seen him in I liked. Some movies I've seen him in I didn't like. Background.
But you just can't quit him.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, we were really good. We were really good.
And since we're not affiliated anymore, I can say, 2 heterosexual scenes did take 5 minutes. The one homosexual scene, less than 30 seconds.
Ah.
Far From Home had its moments, but it was definitely lacking. I did not like the ending. Other than some of the humor, it left much to be desired, and the fact that Mysterio was never really a techie person in the comics. I didn't like the fact that he relied on drones for everything.
Yeah.
He did look cool flying around Italy and with the fishbowl on his head.
Oh, yeah.
That looked cool.
The Mysterio character.
But it's not the Mysterio I grew up with.
The Mysterio character they pulled off very well with the cape and the armor and the fishbowl and everything. Like, that was cool. But just Jake Gyllenhaal under it was like, I haven't liked you in anything since Bubble Boy, so you can bounce the fuck up out of here, really.
And then I had one other small problem. We all respect Tony Stark, even though he does screw people over, but he makes them rich when he does it. So I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, shit on my child, Johnny.
Why?
I still love you.
Why would you? How long has Far From Home been out?
Oh, God, almost a year.
Okay, so this is no spoiler for me.
No!
You would trust Friday and all of your tech knowledge to a teenager?
To a kid.
I don't care if you respected him and felt he had great potential. You could have picked any of the surviving Avengers.
Not only that. Here's my question. Wouldn't you be a little more inclined if you're Tony to trust someone like Pepper with that technology and not Peter?
Because look what happened when he gave it to a kid.
Yeah. World damn near ended. Spider-Man damn near died. Bunch of awesome countries almost got killed.
I want those glasses, but
just destroyed.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd love to have those glasses just because I want to see what people are talking about on social media, so I keep trending posts and just gather followers and
just wave your hands while you're walking down Times Square.
Yeah, flip stuff around. I talk with my hands anyway because I'm Italian, so that would be perfect for me.
Yeah. So I'll give it 3.5. I bet you thought I was going to give it 4.5.
No, I was thinking you were going to pan it, so I'm kind of shocked that you gave it a decent rating.
It had its moments, and it had its failures.
And if I can add, is there a worse family in acting than the frickin' Gyllenhaals?
Yeah, she made a horrible Catwoman. She was horrible in Brokeback Mountain also. The only thing I've ever
She was horrible in The Dark Knight.
Yeah, that's why I said Catwoman. The only thing I've ever seen her in that I liked was The Princess Diaries.
Oh, I've never seen that. So
they're actually pretty good.
I've never seen it.
Because she kind of plays a real person in that.
But she just, I don't know. It's something about like she's just got like the frown lines in her face and she never smiles because she was an emo kid growing up. And that voice just kind of reminds me of Marge Simpson. I can't get over it. Like the Gyllenhaals maybe are the worst family in acting.
No, the Kardashians.
Yeah, but they don't. They're
not
reality
like-
stars.
Yeah,
they
they're
don't
not
act.
actors. Yeah.
And there will be. There's one.
The only movie you've seen Kim in is not a movie that we can watch on like regular TV.
There was one scene from the Batman movie that. I don't care whether you're like trying to spite him or not. If a dude's walking with a cane, you don't just kind of like give the like 50s oops and kick it out
And
from
kick
under.
it out, yeah.
Bitch move.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, Far From Home was.
And they made her look stupid when she did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. But God, Far From Home was just bad. I can't even like. As much as they talked up Far From Home, and then just crapped all over Dark Phoenix. When I went to watch them both, I thought, oh well, Far From Home's going to be great. Dark Phoenix is going to be crap, and it turned out to be the other way around.
However, if by chance Tom Holland can hear this somehow, don't give up the Spider-Man franchise. I don't care if you end up feeling typecast or it's
No.
hindering your career. You are the perfect
No.
Peter and Spider-Man.
From what I've read,
We've had good Peters. We've had good Spider-Man.
and we've had bad ones.
And what I'm saying is we've had characters that have
who
been,
could play Peter, but
remember
not
our argument with
Yeah.
Batman? We've had good
Yeah.
Bruce Waynes. We've had
good
good
Batmans,
Batmans.
but not both.
other than Michael Keaton.
Mm-hmm. No, Tom Holland can pull both sides off, and from everything that I've read, he's going to continue with that character going forward in like MCU projects.
All right,
So yay.
The last I had heard, there was like some contention with the contracts.
Well, there was with Sony and Disney, and then they worked everything
Okay.
out, and now everything moves forward. Because he was heartbroken for a while, but it seems like he's going to be able to get back into that role,
Plus,
which
what
is
would-
great.
What would be Avengers 5 be if it didn't have Spider-Man in it?
Right after all,
Yeah.
especially after Far From Home, because that's damn near the last movie we got.
He didn't do it like Tony did in Iron Man 1. Like,
Because
even-
if you think
I am
about
Iron
it,
Man. He got outed instead of outing himself, but I mean,
yeah, I think they're gonna basically just pull one of those like
That
movie
didn't
tricks
happen?
where like, no, that didn't happen. We were just on shrooms and stuff or something. Like they're gonna pretend like that never
Okay.
happened, and they're gonna move forward. But yeah, it seems like he's back in that role, which is great. He does a tremendous job in it, and anything to see Marissa Tomei back as Aunt May or in any project, because God, I love her.
oh, and one last other shout out in case Tom Holland hears it. I still remember you from Lip Sync Battle. That performance was amazing.
I'm gonna tell your fiance. No, I'm kidding.
I've already told my fiance I love that performance.
And just since we have a second here, if you had to pick what you believe to be your best MCU movie out of all of them, like Avengers, solo projects, whatever, what would it be? Because for me, it's kind of a toss-up between the original Iron Man and Captain America: Winter Soldier. I love those two movies. I still watch them religiously.
I still think it should have been Avengers 4.
Endgame.
No, I think Civil War should have been Avengers 4 instead of Captain America 3. Because it was essentially Avengers 4.
It was, but they had that
I
storyline.
have a toss up between three movies. Iron
Okay.
Man 1,
Right, great movie.
Civil War,
Also great movie.
and I'm going to throw a curveball. I'm not the biggest Thor fan.
Hmm.
I really love Ragnarok.
I did too. It was so good.
I mean, I was okay with the first Thor movie. It was
The
Dark World I hated.
yeah.
But Ragnarok was just amazing. Maybe it was because it had Banner and the Hulk in it.
That was a little bit of it, but I'll tell you what made it amazing for me, and that was the fact that they kind of went back to traditional comic book Thor. He wasn't always serious and lightning and this and that. He made a lot of jokes and smart ass comments and did a lot of goofy things like that's what heroes do when he's hanging and he's waiting for the
Umbrella.
hammer. And
I liked it when he was in Doctor Strange's house and he just like,
Yeah,
summons the
he-
hammer, and all of a sudden it's.
he was more like that in comics, and they didn't really bring it over until Ragnarok. Then they kind of kept it going from there, and they took it even further with like Thor Lebowski. But
However, and we cannot forget the I have been falling for half an hour.
For 30 minutes! And not only that,
Again,
Hulk smashing Thor
That's how it
and
feels.
Loki up in the VIP saying, "See that? That's how it feels." Oh my god, I did love that movie because it was funnier. It was
Yeah.
what Thor was meant to be.
And was anybody else surprised at how good Jeff Goldblum was in it?
No, not at all.
No, because he's an awesome actor.
Jeff Goldblum is an amazing actor. He is a god among men. I love that guy.
I have a couple
like if you think about it, the original Independence Day, he was amazing.
Even better than
the original
Sidney
Jurassic
Hopper and him vibes,
right?
With Peter Falk,
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But the original Jurassic Park, he was amazing. Everything you put this man in, he was amazing. I think he was even in like Earth Girls Are Easy with Gina Davis, and he was amazing. Like you can't give this guy a bad role because he's gonna rock it. So I was not surprised at all. I thought he was great. Especially the little clip at the end when he gets out of the shuttle that's all broke and people are standing around like there's a whole mob there and he's like, "Oh hey, yay us! It's a tie, okay, everybody."
Yeah, that give it. So those 3 movies.
I swear to God, if I had it, I'd play the sound of "It's my birthday."
But if I had to pick one, it would probably be Civil War.
Yeah, if I had to pick one, I might take Winter Soldier over Iron Man because I love that movie so much. I love the way they brought him in. I love the way they connected him and they connected Cap's past and they brought what's his name Zola back as a computer and all that, like Hydra popping out, Pierce being in it. That whole movie was just epic. That might be the best MCU movie as far as I'm concerned. Oh, Kathy, of course. Do you have a pick for best MCU movie?
I'm kind of on 2. Definitely Thor Ragnarok. Really enjoyed that movie.
Great movie.
I hate to say it, but I really loved Endgame. Like it just wrapped everything up with a bow, and it was just like
I think
plethora of emotions, and I liked
the clincher in Endgame was obviously when everybody's coming out of Doctor Strange's magic tunnels after Hulk snapped his fingers. And Cap is standing there in front of everyone and he sees them and everybody's waiting and he reaches out for the hammer and just goes, "Avengers!"
Yeah.
Assemble. I was like, yes, he said it. Finally, somebody said it. Yeah, that was just. There was a lot of other movie. There were a lot of other parts of that movie that were just fantastic. But that part just literally, Kathy will tell you because we were in the theater together. He said it. I lost my damn mind.
Yeah.
And people kind of got mad, but I didn't care because I wasn't the only one either. So that was definitely a great part of that movie. It really it really hit me when I saw it the first time, and even now if I watch it again, I'm like, just a feel good part. And hopefully this has been a great podcast because that's all we have for now. But we will be back to you next week. We've got a nice little possible interview in the works. I'm still ironing out some details, but hopefully when we return next week, our show will be at least in part, if not completely dedicated to the Gifted series, as we will be interviewing the visually stunning character from the Gifted series, the Porcelain Mutant herself, Anissa Matlock, and just talking about her experiences on the show, getting her, backstage insight, asking her if she would have maybe liked to have had a bigger role or if she thought the show should have been canceled the way it was, and just really, get in depth with her and have some fun. And, just go to town. Hopefully I'm still ironing out some details. I was literally messaging her right before we got on this recording. And you will be able to get updates if you follow us already. But if you're listening to us for the first time, we have changed a few things. You can still find us at Mutant Rejects on Twitter. You can search for us at Mutant Rejects, the Gifted Podcast on Facebook. And you can, I'm hoping this is coming through because we're having some technical difficulties. You can listen to this podcast and many others on a on a nice little production company page that I've created because this show is now a part of Fox Den Productions. That's my thing. You can find it at anchor.fm/Foxden. Foxden, one word, don't capitalize it. Our website's going to pop up. You're going to see episodes of this show, this one, and a few throwbacks from bonus episodes that we had in season 2. You're going to see Drunk Upon a Time, which is a very funny show. We get about 5 or 6 people together. We have a couple of drinks. We talk about some stuff. We laugh. We joke. We play some games. It's great. It's a lot of fun. I think you'll enjoy listening to that. We also have Top Rope Wrestling Talk on there now, which is just it's a great informative show. Me and about 3 other people, the 4 horsemen of the pandemic, as we're calling ourselves, just break down whatever's going on in wrestling, give you some some insights, some predictions, and again, have a lot of fun because that's what people need right about now in these times, to be honest. So if you go to Fox Den Productions on Anchor, again, anchor.fm/Foxden, you will see all of that. I'm going to publish some of our old catalog there from rejects, from Top Rope Wrestling Talk, maybe even Drunk Upon a Time if I can find it. And we may even have some new shows coming. So definitely follow us on our social medias. Follow us, give us a favorite at Anchor on Fox Den Productions, and you just stay tuned because there's a lot more coming. So for now, for the lovely Kathy, for the fabulous Phoenix, I'm Dom, and hopefully we'll be back to you next week with a fantastic cast interview. Peace. Excelsior!